Gilbert, before we start, I just want to take a minute. I just want to take a moment. Oh, sorry. I was trying to be exactly like what's her name, Ari Irina during the show when she got asked the tough questions. Get out of here! No minute. There ain't no minute when it comes to Compas on the beat. Gilbert, we're
I think you're talking about Micah. I was annoyed with that 1 minute of pause.
no, it was Irina when she did, like no, I'm talking about when they first asked her the first question of the show. She just sits there and she's like, "I need to take a minute, please." When they started going after
Well,
her.
Micah had her own little pause. Maybe I was annoyed by them, but yeah, we
I
can
think
get
it was
into
just both of them.
There you
But
go.
obviously, we're back. We're doing the reunion show and the last episode of Love Is Blind review. A lot of weird stuff. I thought, I mean, and we'll get into our thoughts, but an hour and 30 minutes
Ugh.
for a reunion show when the finale was an hour and 30 minutes. That's 3 hours of our lives that we will never get back. I wouldn't be surprised if
And then the 2 hours of waiting for the live episode to come on, or whenever it did.
you know what's funny? I wouldn't doubt it if Vic, the producer, went out to the gym, worked, clanging and banging, grabbed his nasty sock, put it on his hand, and just sockoed all three of us for making him watch that. Because, oh my God, at times I felt like I was like, what am I watching? But we'll definitely get into that. Let's bring in the guys so that we can get into it quickly. And then
let's go.
All right, so obviously we kind of got into it already. A little bit of like obviously wedding and the finale, but we got Vic the producer, we got Dan and Dago obviously to talk about it. So I'm just gonna ask you, I'm just gonna take this opportunity because I think we need to do this. Dan, you deserve your flowers because I think Nick Lachey and Vanessa, I think, are the two worst hosts I think I've ever seen. Like,
why did you ever doubt me?
Vanessa kept on interrupting everybody. She would ask a question, she would interrupt. It seemed like she was going more at the male competitors and more aggressively when they would say something, which was a little weird. But like then their weird mom and dad jokes, like they're just strange all around. But Gilbert, give me a little bit. What did you think about them as the hosts?
Hey, Fernando, don't mention NSYNC, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's 98 degrees. Yeah,
none of these kids know about 98 degrees, and you had one song.
I think everybody, all they were all like, who?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's start with the host.
Except for Tiffany and Brett, they knew who that was.
And by the way, I started off there because there was like a point there where like I think Brett was just like showing his love for Tiffany and all the boring stuff that I don't like. You know, yeah, we get it, they're perfect. And but Brett was giving like a passionate kind of like speech about why he fell for Tiffany, and then the Vanessa Lachey, she's like, speaking about photos, how about you, Kwame, over there? And I'm like, can you let the guy like share his feelings and be like, at least say like, oh, that's really sweet. Oh, by the way, on that note, like she was just like, either somebody's in her ear saying like, hey, we need more like drama, people for me, I guess. That's a good transition to talk about Kwame and Chelsea's cringy photo shoot. So take what passionate speech that Brett had and just go with it. So I don't know what it was. She was very like antsy to move forward. Like, Fernando, how you were saying with the Miz, like you listen to responses and you work off of that, not work ahead in your mind for questions. She was really like in this itchy mood to keep going. Maybe because the whole live thing took 2 hours. Maybe that's me making an excuse, but she was off her game. And then like there was a couple of points where Nick was like you could tell by his face, like, did she really say that? Like you're so cringy. You're like a mom. And then I just hate how Vanessa Lachey, she really like shows like favoritism and bias. Okay, if you're gonna be like the heel of the show, she's gonna really attack you and make an effort to make you be the bad guy. Yeah, and like Shake, Cole, like they all kind of felt the wrath of that. But like with people like that,
ran circles around her dumbass, though. It was hilarious.
That's what's funny. But like people like Arena didn't really get it from her. Jackie didn't really get it from her. Like it's just weird when she decides to pick and choose who's gonna be the villain of her reunion.
You guys look amazing. Let me just start off by saying, like, get out of here. But Vic, go ahead before we give Dan his so he can take his victory lap.
Yeah, no, I kind of talked about it on Compas, so I'm just gonna reiterate what I said earlier or on that episode. Is like they just seem like they're Netflix is just cutting corners here. Like honestly, if you have a good structure here with your show, just go and break the bank and go get a real host like Andy Cohen or Harrison from The Bachelor. Get one of those people, or hey, Fernando's here. He's ready. Gilbert's here. He's
Can't be
happy to
trusted.
be
He'll
part-
try and dabble into the contestants. I wouldn't put his
Yeah,
yeah, and just add a little bit better
point.
production, and you got yourself and work on making your live shows a lot better, because that was a total disaster. So I'll hand it over to Dan.
I'll be like,
Dan.
hey, Micah, Arena, wrap it up with the responses. Nobody cares. I'll be
Yeah,
that
exactly.
person.
Hey, you look good, girl. You look good. You looking a little orange, but hey, you look good.
Which
Go
one
ahead,
of
Dan.
the two? Did you
Micah.
notice that they all
Micah,
like
yeah.
completely changed? Like, bro, chill with
They
the
all-
tanning bed.
Yeah, they all went strong on the tan. Like they all took tanning from Dolph Ziggler, I think.
Yeah,
like,
they took advice from him, the nature boy, and I forgot who else was terrible with it.
Suddenly, Irina didn't have those scars on her face. I wonder why. It was kind of weird.
Like it
Well, it
was
was
just
hidden by
so
makeup.
weird.
Yeah, I know.
Everything. No, she had
or
makeup on
you
her
know
too
what?
now.
She probably got a sponsor. They lasered that stuff, and she probably got a whole mess of stuff like that. But Dan, go ahead about and obviously keep it.
I'm not talking
civil.
about any sports team. I can say whatever I want about this one. But what was I gonna say? You know, I just don't know why people doubt me. Like I had a lock today.
Really?
I called out
I was
a
right.
member of the group chat that he needs to retire because my locks are hitting. I had a lock about this, you know. I don't know why you guys still doubt me. The son of Odin lock. I mean, that's all I do. I know these things. And it's like you could tell right away that and you know what's funny actually, the whole time watching this, I'm like, you know who would be a wonderful host? Coach Jason Brown. Imagine Coach JB hosting this. That would stir up all the drama in the right way. He would throw the earpiece out.
I would like to see that actually.
It would be actually legendary. But it's like it's so weird. It's just like you guys say, like it's almost like she has a radar and she's like, okay, I don't care. Let me just bully you. And it's like, how are you? Like, it just makes no sense to me. Then sometimes when you want to know something else, she refuses to press. And I'm like, you're just an idiot. And then the other doofus, Nick Lachey, just sits there like this, all hunched over like a weirdo, just like her puppet. She starts pulling the strings and he starts moving about and flopping. Like, it's absolutely terrible.
You know what?
Here's my thing, real quick, Frown. Here's my thing. They mentioned it this time. They're like, oh, it's your experiment. We reduced our da. You know, people were hating on their asses being on the screen so much in past seasons. So this season, they were probably let's get them the hell out of there because they're absolutely so cringe. Half of the stuff Vanessa says is cringe, idiotic, and everything else. So it's absolutely stupid. Like I thought she was so soft on Jackie, and like some of these other people, she was like waving a
Paul look like an
sledgehammer.
asshole. Like she was making Paul look like an asshole.
Yeah,
And that's when what the other guy had to interview.
That
The
was
lawyer
Zach.
had to interview. Yeah, Zach was like, "Hey,
Shout out,
whoa."
Bundy.
But
Yeah.
we'll get into that in a little bit. But Vic, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think somebody here went 4-0 with their predictions on the marriages.
Who
was that?
Track?
Who was that? I don't know. You tell me. I didn't even keep track.
Also,
I
a little victory laps here.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know something? We should get you guys for the football season one of those 1-800 locked in your bets because you guys are on a row between Dan and Diego and Fernando.
I think it's funny because I was telling Dan, I was like, I think because I know I was the only one that said that Kwame would say yes to Chelsea. I think I was the only one that said that one. So, but I think everything else I predict. Well, the other three were easy. The only hard one was Kwame and Chelsea. But let me ask you guys. I'll start off with you, Dan. What did you think about Kwame saying yes to Chelsea?
It was.
And remember, it's Barbara is her sister. Is this
no, Brenda? Sorry, Barbara. Like an idiot.
You people on the internet, you're so dumb.
She is.
I think
so
she was calling out Vic on that
idiotic,
one because Vic said it wasn't.
Yeah, it's like, and that guy Victor from Compas.
Yeah,
that is his sister, by the way.
Yeah. I'm so confused. Like, how is she getting paid to do this? Like, I understand I think they founded the show or whatever, but it's like, bro, it's time to cut your losses and move on and get someone better. Because it's like
contract, get him out of here or something.
For her not to know something important like her sister's, his sister's name, like bro, come on. Like, you just look dumber now. Like, it's just unbelievable. So, my bad. I keep going back to trying to bash these two dumbasses. Let me jump back to Kwame and Chelsea. This is my thing. And are we including the reunion with this or no?
Yeah,
no, just them saying it. Well, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's speed this up. I'll do it. I'll do both.
You know what? That's true. Time good. Yeah.
I'll do it both. Real quick. So I obviously said no just based on what we watched, but I think it was very interesting in the reunion how they're talking about like, oh, it was only 1%. No, I'm madly in love. They didn't show it. It's like at that point, it's not on the viewer's fault if they're bashing it, saying he's trapped or whatever. It's on the editor's fault. Like, how if we're not seeing that and all we see is every time Chelsea breathes, Kwame's rolling his eyes or talking about Portland or whatever, and he's semi-pro career that never happened or whatever.
No stats anywhere.
It's
four
not
practices, guys.
Exactly,
4 practices a week.
Exactly. It's not on the viewer's fault at that point. So that's why I was like shocked. That's why I was shocked about him saying yes, because based on what I saw, I thought he was going to say no. So I fell for the okie doke. That's all me.
Vic.
Yeah, we were shocked. Like Megan and I were watching it, and we were just like, he's really gonna say yes, and of course he does. And I think most of us were all shocked that he said yes.
You can't say no when you take pictures like that.
Yeah, exactly. He was all in at that point.
Supposedly.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I wasn't buying it, and then him walking and talking to his sister. He
Still not buying it.
Laser.
Yes. He said he was still he looked unsure, and exactly. Like I don't. You knew Chelsea was all in, and as some of the memes were going around, and it was pretty funny with some of the stuff that was going around, but. Yeah, I still don't understand that one. Like
makes no
as
sense.
Somebody said he put the hole in housewife or something. Like I was just laughing at that because now that's what he is. But hey.
Yeah. Before I go to Gilbert, I'm just gonna say real quick. The reason why I thought yes is because he had brought his brother and his sister.
Yeah,
they seemed like they were very close, and I kind of put myself. Well, yeah, I put myself in that situation. Like if I brought Daniel and Melissa to meet a girl, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, she is special. She will. That's somebody that I'm thinking about marrying. So I just kind of put myself in that situation. So that's why I said yes. But I thought it was pretty cool, though, that he said that the mother, that Chelsea and the mom really got along. I thought that was awesome. You never want a marriage where your mother doesn't get along with your wife. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they seem happy. So, I mean, I guess a year in and they're good to go. So, Gilbert, your turn.
I have so many responses here that I want to give, and I'll start off with the okie doke that Dan and Victor were referring to. I was pissed. I wanted a freaking no because it was set up to get a no. Like Kwame couldn't. I don't care about the editing. Whatever that man said, a bunch of things that made it clear that he did not want to marry Chelsea, or he was definitely undecided. And I go back to the whole Marshall thing where he's like, I didn't even get a chance to get to the altar, and I get it. You got to build it up, and when you get there, you don't know where you're gonna say. But I deserved my no there. They even stopped the freaking show, the cliffhanger for 4 more 5 days. I'm like, I had to wait for my no, and I still didn't get the no. But I'll say this: Chelsea at the reunion came off, pretty well. She finally gained points again because she was on the desperate meter, like really low. And for her to just to say, "Hey, Micah, whatever, like it was a stupid show. I'm gonna move forward. Don't worry about it." And I know Bliss and Zach wanted to make Irina, beg for an apology acceptance, and I get that, but Chelsea was very mature about it, and she came off well, and somehow she trained Kwame to say a lot of nice things because he had the greatest statement to say about, like, first of all, I apologize to my wife, I apologize to my wife's family, I apologize to the viewers.
You see, when he put his arm around her, he threw a piece of paper out of the way, dude.
And he kept saying, my wife. And before it was the other way around. So whatever Chelsea did, it worked. And I laughed when Chelsea said, I met the family. It's just like my family. Yeah, right, Chelsea. Yeah, your family is the same as his family. But anyways, I won't go into details. But
so basically, this was Gilbert during the whole thing.
Kwame Brown is gone. Throw a parade already, whether you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub.
Yeah, exactly. I was pissed, man.
Work on your.
By the way, before we completely move on, Bartise has a kid. Like, Wasn't he just on that
Bro,
perfect
that
ending? Like
that's
and
another
already
cloud chaser. That's another
that
cloud
was
chaser.
that was
Did
crazy.
you see
But I
the
mean,
baby mama?
yeah,
It's
I'm wondering who
water.
it is. But all right, let's move on. The
She's not
one I think that some people got surprised. Well, not
Damn.
surprised. I think this was the biggest toss up between. I mean, I guess Kwame and Chelsea as well. But Micah and Paul.
Oh, I knew it.
It was
Wow.
interesting when because personally, I mean, I'm gonna go first on this one. I thought Micah used it as a shield when she said, "I'm gonna let you go first." And I thought to myself, she wants him to play the bad guy. And he said no. And so then she left and all that, and she got all teary-eyed and
I don't
everything.
know.
But she wanted him to play the bad guy. But by the way, when all that stuff came out about because there's always gonna be a oh my god kind of moment. All I could think about when Micah when he hit it with the "you're not paternal," all I could think about was this. Like when he says like
mother of my children.
you're not I couldn't see you as a mother. I'm like, oh dude, and like then he starts saying you don't have like the paternal instincts you may have, but like I didn't feel the nourishing part. Well, how do you know I don't have? And then there goes Lachey. How do you know she doesn't have them? No, I didn't say that she doesn't have them. I'm saying I didn't feel them from her when I was with her. So obviously, I guess Micah got she couldn't believe that aspect of it. And then obviously they talked about the night that she went out with her friends, and then obviously the lawyer guy goes, "Hey, your friend, I didn't hear you
Zach,
defending
put
him
some
at all."
respect on his
Zach,
name. He's been through
Zach.
a lot, guy.
Mountain Man Zach.
Exactly.
He's
Mountain Man.
he's like, I didn't hear you defending him at all. So obviously there was a lot of beef there, which was pretty interesting to hear from because it like they said, only 10% is shown from what actually happened. So I'm like interested. I'm like, damn, I want to see what the juicier stuff is. So
you want to see Calvin Klein underwear dates?
No, I didn't want to see that. I wanted to see more of this. Like, I wanted to see more of this stuff. And then they talk about they started bringing up. Oh well, no, this was with somebody else. But I just thought it was interesting that I can see why he said no. Obviously the whole best friend aspect too. Why would you like? Can you imagine having to see her every single weekend because she's best friends with her? Like, I'm good with that. So I can understand why he said no. But for them to try and make Paul out to seem a bad guy, and Paul kind of seems like he's a good guy in the sense of he just sat there and took his punches. He's like, okay, whatever, boom, 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 and then finally when
himself,
when somebody defended him, he's like, okay, fine. Like I felt bad for him, but Gilbert, go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, maybe you could refresh my memory because I can't remember, but Micah had actually a good response for why he let him go first, and I'm really blanking my mind right now.
It was essentially like this is what I understood from it, right? It was essentially because she knew she was going to say yes, but I assume, and you know what assuming means.
Making an ass out of you and me.
What it all is just she wanted to shield herself from saying yes and him saying no. Because obviously, then that's an even bigger punch to the face or whatever.
No, she said pretty much
she also, hold on, my bad. This is what I remember also. She said she didn't want her saying yes to affect his decision. That was the
she didn't want to pity yes because she went first. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of buy that. I thought it was kind of like what Fernando said. Oh, playing the victim card. You can always be like, well, he left me and I'm sad and he's just coming back and he's the one touching my bridesmaids in the butt.
Shout out. She was finally she has a cute friend over there, dude. What's going on?
I know the producers of Love is Blind are terrible or whatever, but they were really on social media kind of conspiracy theories this time because they brought up the whole Paul touching the bridesmaid, and Paul had a great response. Maybe you practice it because I don't blame him, by the way, for going for that one. But he pretty much said, "Hey, like I bumped into the friend.
It was more of a tap to say the contestants.
Shut up, idiots."
It was more of a tap to say, "Hey, sorry for bumping into you," and I'm sure she had like that kind of like look because it's like, oh, it's a guy who left my friend. So I bought the whole detail there, but overall, like they really went out of the way to try to make Paul the shake, the cold, the reunion. I'm like, it's not working. Only one. Like I actually like Paul's side. Like he's a little kind of mild mannered, but he's like he'll let you have it. Like he has like those kind of those one-liners that's very dry, but like it's like damn, actually it was kind of mean. But like
Ted Bundy.
What was that?
So did Ted Bundy.
Allegedly.
He has
go
some. He has some kid, but like the way he was looking, like he's just like staring, like he's like.
No, nothing's as bad as what's his name, Shane. That guy's eyes were wild.
Well, can we bring in? No, are we waiting? Or are we saving Arena for? Because Arena's been in different places. Are we saving Arena for this one or for the Zach and Bliss section?
That would make sense for the Zach and
yeah.
Okay.
Bliss.
All right. Yeah. Because let me just say one thing about Micah and the Arena thing. I thought it was kind of BS that Micah didn't get any crap for being part of the bullies. There was 2 bullies.
Yeah.
Arena got crap.
And I'll
Micah
talk
got the
about
pass.
it. Yeah.
She got the pass, and she was trying to act like the victim. She was trying to give it to Paul. And like, I respect Chelsea for saying sorry to Mike, accepting the sorry from Micah, Zach and Bliss accepting the sorry from Arena, but for some reason Micah wouldn't accept it from Paul. And Paul was like, "What do I even have to say sorry for? I told you the truth."
Micah
and
shielded herself so well from both
yeah.
Irina and the Paul stuff, and it's
perfect stuff. Like she
Yeah.
went in that whole scene with the dog thing with Chelsea saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm such a good person." Yeah, right. You're just as mean. And by the way, Paul knew the second that he met the friends. Yeah, you can't be the mother to my future kids because you have terrible judgment with friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just a Cole 2.0. They try to make Cole to be the victim, and they try to make Cole to be the bad guy. He was an idiot, and he took it and broke down crying, whatever. But Paul didn't take it, and it's the same thing. You get this almost every season. It's ridiculous.
All right, Vic.
I was just gonna kind of go a little bit more into the whole Micah thing. Like, I think Micah and Irina were on the same boat in terms of like they were just trying to get to Mexico. Like, as soon as she made a deal with Paul, that was the thing. Like, I don't care. Like, once she saw what he looked like and what he was into, she was like, "Well, I'm gonna try to work on it and then get to the finale." And then when she got to the finale, as soon as she said, "Oh, you go first," I was like, "Oh, okay." Like that, it was all strategy. It was all strategy for her. In terms of Paul, he seemed like he was a calculated guy. Like every decision, like it was weird listening to his friends because they knew him. They all knew he was gonna say no, and it was because Paul is a calculated dude. Like everything has to be. It was not only the fact that he wasn't getting any love from her in terms of what he wanted, but he also knew that this wasn't the right situation for him. And the fact that it was kind of weird that she was getting mad about the whole Irina thing, and then as you guys talked about the friends was the worst part. Like he was just sitting there at the club, and he was seeing how she was towards. Like you have to have like if that's your partner, she's got to have your back, and you got to cut off those people. What do they call her? What is she, an HBIC or something like that?
The Green Monster.
Yeah, the Green Monster.
Real quick, you brought up a calculated Paul. He had that one annoying friend when he was about to get married who kept trying to convince him to say yeah. I'm like, what kind of friend are you to try to force your friend to brainwash him? Like, he's on the fence for a reason. Just kind of tell him like straight out, like, hey, if you're not interested, you don't do it. But he's like, you got to stop being so calculated. Don't do it. You should just go for it, man. Take a chance. I'm like, shut up, bro.
Yep.
He was trying to stand out. He was chasing clout also.
Yeah, he was. I don't know.
Dan, go ahead.
I don't know what to say. It was a lock. I already knew it. Other than that, I don't know. I think Micah, you're right. She does deserve blame for the bullying and all that. She distanced herself after she had that little powwow with her after the whole Mexico thing from Irina. So, like when she came back also, it was just interesting the way she was so offended, which I mean, obviously, of course, anyone would be about the mothers and all that, being a mother and stuff like that. But like, it just made sense. I knew it wasn't going to work out. Like, I just knew it. Like, even though they tried to date after, supposedly, I knew it wasn't going to work. So that being said, her saying that she wants a large family and everything else, Micah, just slide in the DMs. I'll move to Arizona. We'll move to the mountains and chill. Just slide in there. Don't worry about it.
Wow, you're nuts. All right, let's.
Oh wait, you gotta get rid of that friend though. I'm not gonna deal with that crap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. See.
Do you guys want to talk about Brett, or do you guys?
Her parents were so nice, dude.
Talk about the parents.
Can I want to? Yeah, there is a couple of things I do want to talk about with this. If you guys don't mind, I'll make it quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, like it was such forced drama with the whole pants things, right, Gilbert? Like, I mean, I know you put it here on the rundown. Like this is where I have an issue with the production. Again, you can tell this was shot like way earlier. It wasn't shot like 1 hour before. Like, come on, like we're
15
really
minutes
gonna,
before the wedding. Yeah, right.
yeah, like
So dumb, dude.
and it was so perfect for Brett because Brett is he's a designer. He works for Nike as a designer. And so for him to not have what he wants in terms of it and making a big deal. By the way, for me, the biggest winner from this was the brother.
Yeah,
I love the brother. Give that man his own show.
he saw the camera. He was like,
Yeah, he was like,
that's the best way to kind of cloud chase. Just be natural and look at the camera, and that's it.
Yeah.
And real quick,
ask if you like his hair.
yeah. So he made it happen there. Like if we ever had time or we had nothing to do, power rankings for characters of Love Is Blind, he would be up there. But I kind of needed this because it was a little forced. I'm like, I gotta see something here, some kind of intrigue. Obviously, Tiffany and Brett are perfect. They're gonna say yes. And I like to see that side of Brett because like he is kind of a guy that needs to, like, maybe a Paul kind of way, calculated. Everything needs to go the right way. It has to be perfect. And you know what? Maybe he gets a little stressed out, overwhelmed. But that's why you have a Tiffany who's like really kind of chill and laid back, and you kind of see that perfect connection. And even rushing to get things done, like he was still smooth, like he was still there on time. There was no sweat. He said hi to Marshall, and everything was fine. So just to see that kind of difference between character, like he was pissed when she fell asleep, Tiffany, but he overcame it and he was fine. So he's a different person. She's different, but somehow it just works together.
I thought it was funny how they opened up with them for the reunion, and then for the next 90 minutes ignored the hell out of them.
No, I was gonna ask, like, before we move on, did you guys have a problem with Marshall being at the wedding?
No, why? They're buds.
No, I thought they're boys. I think I thought Brett was really like an older brother of Marshall the whole time. So I thought that was I honestly thought it was awesome, and that was big of Marshall to show up at the wedding.
Well, he kind of tried to make it about himself for a little bit.
That's why.
It's gonna be my day, but I'm here for you. And I'm like, all right, tone it down, Marshall. Tone it down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was still hurting, I guess.
Speaking
of scumbags,
Hilberto.
I thought it was really like it showed no like you have to show balls, and I thought Jackie and Josh did not show any by not showing up to the reunion. Like, get the hell out of here! Like,
Manny Machado.
You did everything. You did everything you needed to do. They didn't show up. I thought that was low. And then obviously they do that whole little interview, and obviously what's her name doesn't press her at all about anything. So I thought, and she pressed Marshall. Like, that was the crazy part. Like, I just saw the text message between Jackie, what Jackie said. And I mean, I could give a rat's ass about, I mean, that's their relationship. They can say whatever they want to each other. I mean, now that it's made public, obviously everybody's having a cow about it, but that's whatever they say to each other is whatever they feel like. But it was just crazy to see that, that they asked him about the text messages and she didn't ask her about the leaked text messages. So it just like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, Lachey Vanessa's terrible when it comes to all this, but
dude, she got so annoyed with Marshall when Marshall was like, hey, you know what? There was a lot there. I gotta recollect my memories. Like, well, let me help you out. Let me bring it up again because you can't remember anything, Marshall. I was like,
that's for ratings, guy. That's why
no,
he was trying to deflect, not go through it, and she was trying
the
to.
The craziest part is too is that she that Jackie was like, oh, he was trying to marry somebody. Like, how? Like, you literally like canceled on him. Like, what? 5 days before, like, or whatever, 6 days before the wedding. Like, how is he gonna find somebody to marry in 6 days? And to do that, like, that was just dumb to me. She just
he did admit that he got a sympathy text from somebody.
Well,
he shot his shot. But
by the way, by the way, you know what I thought,
guy?
You know what I thought was funny was the fact that well, my bad. Go ahead. Whoever wants to go. I had a brain fart.
This was just ridiculous. I'll just end it with this real quick. I thought it was so ironic, beautiful, and funny, and this tells you everything about these fake ass people. Josh is sitting there, real dignant, sitting up straight with his big old muscles. You know what? I'm not gonna text you. I'm gonna say it to your face. You're literally talking about Marshall, dog, and you're not even in the same room. Like, shut the hell up. Skip this garbage and let's move on. It's unbelievable. Like, it was. So
what kind of fighter are you? You can't even confront the guy on national television.
It was so stupid. Her responses were stupid. I don't even remember.
You were groping the guy when you were drunk.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing.
She wants to talk about what she said about Marshall. Hey, your boy was like hugging up on this fool when he was all drunk at Chelsea's party.
Yeah,
dude, she kept throwing Marshall under the bus even when they were like still in his happy phase. They showed a video in the reunion where Josh and Jackie are in the pods, and he's like, I'm a little different, right, from like what you get normally or from the other guy. And she's like, yeah, you're not soft like him. I was like, oh, okay, wow.
But
Okay.
No,
again, this
I don't
is
know if you
your
guys saw the
fault.
text messages, but like she basically was saying that he probably bats the other way.
And that gets to my point. Like she makes all these jokes. She tries to be like she's a funny one. And the second that Marshall makes
Is
fun of her
true.
jawline, hey, you look kind of like a man because your jawline is pretty strong. And then she like supposedly say that, what was it, a bad term or derogatory term?
Derogatory,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how's that like a bad term? But I get it. And maybe her feelings got hurt. And credit to Marshall, he was trying to be like, you know what? Maybe I kind of went too far. But man, if you're gonna be joking like that, take a joke.
It's
And you could tell
stupid.
Marshall in that little box wanted to say so much. He was so annoyed about what the responses were, and he just contained himself. And for Vanessa Lachey to make fun of him after that, I was annoyed.
People need to realize too. I know, because he's like, "Hey guys, it's been a year since all this happened, and you guys are coming after us, dude." They just released the episodes a month ago.
That's
the
funny.
thing is that you have to realize that they're just releasing the episodes now, so everybody's gonna go at you on social media.
Then you prepare responses for the reunion too.
And you could tell they were pissed off that Jackie said a lot of things, because before, I guess she sent out an Instagram post a couple of months ago about the breakup without even like
before it
she spoiled it.
Yeah, she was the worst spoiler. I kept trying to stay off TikTok for the whole time.
You can tell that she was a huge spoiler on the show. But Vic, we haven't gone to you.
No, I'll keep it simple with that. Like, I think part of the problem here is that I think everybody knows the structure now, right, guys? I mean, it's now 4 seasons, and so I think a lot of these people who come into it, they know how it's gonna work. Your goal, it sounds like, from, like I said, I haven't seen the first 3 seasons, but now that you have the advantage of knowing that, hey, my goal is to get to the Mexico or whatever the next round is, and I think that's what happened with Jackie here. She was never in love with Marshall, like, as you guys have talked about.
With Josh, dude, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but I think the producers must have not liked Josh and been like, "Oh,
I think because he wasn't a really good.
Let's keep him in our back pocket just in case."
Can't even make weight, apparently.
The
reason why I was a fool and drunk was because I was cutting weight. Get out of here.
Why
are you drinking and cutting weight?
By the way, let's move on now to obviously what Irina. Yeah, Irina. By the way, whenever I think of her, this is when they started giving her the mic, the floor to talk and everything. This is all I could think about.
Right of the week.
Exactly.
Shout out to WWE for that one.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, I'm like, get out of here with this. Like, everything she said, like, she's like, oh, and by the way, she hit that damn tree coming down. She hit mental health. She hit this. She hit that. Like, she was hit. I honestly think Irina met with a PR specialist before she went in there.
Well, she was
the worst. She was hit like it was like clockwork. Mental health. I was bullied. Well, I bullied because I had this kind of rage, built up rage. All those words, she hit the damn branches all the way down off the tree. So I'm like, okay.
The buzzwords.
Exactly. Yeah, so she knew exactly how to play it on herself. She hit all of them, and they still had no sympathy for her. But by the way, if Dan and Dago and I would have been in that crowd, by the way, they should invite us because we would have been like that. Shut up.
I would have like those SNL crowds or SNL crowds with the applause sign up there. They're all
it was just, and you could tell people were booing her. People did not want to listen to her. Nobody even paid attention to half of the crap she had to say.
I didn't listen.
You could tell Zach was still hurt off of everything that she said about him because it was terrible. The stuff that she's like, she literally looked at him. They were in bed, and she'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to. I was having a panic attack." Like, get out of here! Like, what? Like he looked like Bunny.
And then they're like, "Well, mental health and panic attack, but you're texting or sending a message to Bliss. You dodged a bullet, by the way."
Yo, that was nasty. By the way, that was so bad.
Yeah.
But Vic, go ahead.
Where do I start here? Well, let's start with Irina. Irina, like, you could tell, like, we've talked about this already in terms of what she brought to the table. Her main thing was, like, once she realized what he looked like, he was like, she was like, nope, this is not for me. She bailed on him, like, right off the bat. And then I think part of the reason why she wanted to make things right is because her business took a a beating after some of these episodes started coming out.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen people talking about it in terms of what her comments were on social media for the thing for her business and how it was affecting it. And she had to put out a video, and now she's like, look, I get it. You want, as you guys have talked about, part of the reason you go on these shows is because you want clout. And sometimes it can work for the wrong reasons. And that's what's happened with Irina here. She's having to pay for it the wrong way.
Yeah.
No,
well, I just don't
agree.
understand how that happens, dude. Like, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's like if you sign up for WWE, you come out hurling all these terrible things about people that's not a part of the script or like cool to be a heel, you're fired, and then you can never get another job. It's like, I don't know where the disconnect is where you don't understand there are consequences to these things, dude.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I go back to what Zach said. He pretty much flat out told her, "You were on here just to get famous."
Yeah,
and that's and it's true because she went too hard at being famous, and everything bit her in the ass, and karma got her because she, like you mentioned, was trying to do anything she can to get to Mexico. If she's a bully on the show, she'll get airtime and she'll be a villain and she'll be on camera, not knowing, or you forgot that your whole career is to be a party planner and make people feel welcome. Dumb to be a bully in this show because it's gonna backfire you that way. And I don't blame Bliss and Zach to like say, hey, we accept your apology, but we're still gonna call you out on this and that. And by the way, there's a reason why she was minion number 2, because Micah was what a perfect game
Everybody
plan.
had a tag team partner. She had a tag team partner, and I can't believe they didn't press Micah more on that.
All the blame was on Irina. She was stumbling her words. She didn't know what to say, and Micah just, even during her long 1-minute pause with crying, everybody like, take your time, Micah. Or Irina like, shut up, wrap it up over here. You're the
not
worst
even friends anymore. And I was surprised neither one. I think they're still friends because they didn't throw each other under the bus at all.
They kept
so
saying
I was like,
each
okay.
other.
I'm like, you guys are still friends.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me, Paul pretty much, proved me right when he said, hey, me and Micah said, like, you have a free pass to make a move at wherever you want in Mexico. That tells me they were talking, hey, let's just get to Mexico. I want Kwame, you want my ugly friend Irina. Let's make the moves. Just don't, I was gonna say something else. Just don't do them. But you could flirt with them, And so I'm like, okay. And even then, Micah still didn't get anything. So they were talking about like doing whatever. But yeah, Irina did not get the PR statement or coaching from whatever Kwame got and whatever Micah got.
So Gilbert thinks that the commissioner was going to come up. We have a trade with the 13th overall pick. They're trading between the Paul and Zach are going to be trading.
You got to give more if you're taking Irina. That's a terrible trade for Paul.
You can totally tell you, but you know what? It's probably backfired. Not only like when it comes to work, but obviously life and love.
Yeah, obviously. Who's gonna want to date her now? I wouldn't trust her.
Like and that's the thing. When you go in there playing like that, it's gonna be hard to come out and look nice. Because I mean, we saw it with the chick in the first season. The one that you Jessica.
Yeah.
It took her a little bit. Other people.
Yeah, people forget with time. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bad look all around. And
I have a question too, but go ahead, Gilbert.
I was gonna say real quick, like you could tell Irina really tried to say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna learn. Yeah, yellow.
Yeah, that's bull.
And then like she kept having urges to say that's wrong, Zach. No, Bliss, I disagree. I'm like, shut up. Like just you were so mean. Just take whatever they're giving you and call it a day, because Micah and Kwame and Paul, they all look much better than her because she's having that urge to say, hey, that's not true. Or she had some, I don't know what's true and what's not, but she kept saying that she was trying to leave the show. She wasn't trying to get to Mexico to be famous, that she was offended because she kept telling producers, I don't want to go. And they pretty much told her, you just try it out and see what happens. So
just throws the whole show under the bus.
Yeah, I know. So whatever, but I don't know. But again, at that point, just shut up and just take it and move on.
No, not just shut up.
Yeah.
No, take accountability, dude. Like, honestly, if I'm a fan of this show and say I'm going through whatever, seeing a psychiatrist or whatever, or doing whatever things about that stuff, and she's over here saying, oh, because I was an asshole because I have this or that, like, that to me is so idiotic. Take accountability. You are in control of your own actions no matter what everyone tells you. No one, you don't act that way because someone did something to you. Like, I don't understand that behavior. If she was bullied for acne, how would it, and you hate that behavior, how in your mind are you like, oh, let me repeat this behavior? I don't buy it at all. She was, she's exactly like the superheroes in The Boys. She has a PR team, like Frau said. She's just trying to improve her poll numbers out here so she can sell a few candy bars down the street. It's ridiculous. I'm done with it.
Vanessa reminded her about the acne. I thought that was kind of like pretty funny.
Yeah, no, definitely. But obviously, anything.
I know. No, before we go, I just wanted to. One of the things I noticed is that the ones that were really immature were the ones that were in their mid-20s, and then the ones that like were ready for marriage were the ones that were in their 30s. So just going forward, make sure you pay attention to their age, because that's gonna tell you guys a lot about where this show is going. And I just thought, like, did you guys notice that like, you know, like Micah and them were like in their mid-20s, like a lot of
that was just this season. Like in the earlier seasons, like there's been couples that are
where they're in their mid-20s.
They end up getting married. So I think every season's really different. This season, I felt like they chose a lot more of an older cast than they had.
Like Brett and Tiffany, like I don't remember like somebody being in their late 30s.
Neither did I. Like even the
Jessica was like 32 or 34.
Yeah, even the original two, like I think he was 30 and she was like 31.
And what is it with Seattle? They can't find the full cast that lives there. Like they're like Arizona, Portland. I'm like, man, I guess it is a Lamar.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird.
They're going all over.
Come out to Cali. We'll put Frau on the show.
Yeah. I can't. If it comes to like one of us needs to.
One of us. Alberto included himself.
Well, you two, by the way.
No.
He said one of us. One of us.
Yeah. All right, I'll just get permission from Caroline. But hey, can I just be in the pods and I won't make it out of it? How about that?
You know what it's like to sit on.
You can be the what was the guy's name? The leopard guy. Just go in there with same bull stuff.
Exactly.
I'll do the fake tears like that one guy in season 3.
We appreciate you guys so much for checking out the Love is Blind last episode and the reunion. We'll definitely we'll see. I bet you season 5's coming out and before the summer hits or in a couple of weeks. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But don't forget to check out everything else. Compas on the Beat. Compas on the Beat, merch.com, Compas on the Beat.com, regular Compas on the Beat. Gilbert and I kind of talk about what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. And then now that Jalen Hurts signed his big contract, what is going to happen with Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow? They're next in line to get paid. Gilbert and I have some thoughts on that. And don't forget to check out What's Up Bolts. Dan and Dago and I go in on first day of off-season conditioning phase 1. And then obviously Eric Kendricks book for the first time, so we talk about that. House of Horns are going to have your breakdown for everything Rams for off-season conditioning as well. And don't forget to check out Compas FC, where we're going to talk about Champions League and everything that happened there.
Exactly.
We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. But for the time being, we got to get Dan and Diego to that Padre game. So
let's go. Let's go.
Baseball fan Dan, get going. Ya nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.
I'm going to pretend it's June.